You're with Mark and Diane, Real Estate News and Views, and there's some big changes coming to Barrie in 2025, Mark, that could affect people's land values, commutes, all kinds of things, right?
It could. Yeah, and we're going to go through one instance in the community that this location could affect home values. I think it will, depending on what's being built. This is the key, right?
That's
So
right.
we'll dive more into that as we progress to the video, but why don't you walk through the viewers through some of the zoning changes and why?
So got a new official plan, and they're changing all the zoning in the city. Now, I think they're on draft three, which is supposed to be the final draft, but this is changing all the zoning and the usage in the city of Barrie.
Right.
So I have now all of this information is public information that you can get on the Barrie website. If you go on City of Barrie and go under developments, which is what I did,
Yeah.
um, you actually can see this is a new draft zoning bylaw. And there's links.
Yep.
Okay. This is a working copy of draft three, mapping changes, explainer document. So the zoning map shows you what is going to be in what zone.
Okay.
Okay. So I should be able to zoom in on this, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is, I think it's up here.
There we go.
There we go. So pink, every color has a number now. And it's not going to be like R1, R2. That's kind of it's totally changed. So I'll show you over here um what the legend is.
Okay.
So neighborhood area low NL1, neighborhood area low NL2, low NL3.
Are those low density?
Yes.
Are they referring to? Okay.
Yes. So what I'll show you too is they give you a total breakdown of what all of these mean.
Okay.
Neighborhood commercial, urban transit, urban core. So you see all the R's and stuff, they're gone, right?
Correct.
Employment non-industrial, employment industrial, employment restricted. Like it's a lot more broken down
Okay.
than it used to be.
Hmm.
And so you go over here again, and now it's showing you exactly what areas are what.
So could you pick an area from that map anywhere in Barrie where you could see possibly, because your eyes are better than mine, could probably see some changes that could be impacted? 'Cause we're going
Well,
to
it
see
looks
it.
like, yeah, and it looks like Burton Street, which is right here, Burton Avenue.
Yep.
We have a
Yep.
lot of commercial in here where right now it isn't. This is behind the GO station.
Okay.
You saw like that brown is commercial.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
Neighborhood commercial. Yeah, but right now it's all residential, right?
A lot. And there's some vacant lands too that the city owns too close by that you might see
Yes.
too, possibly. That makes sense.
And I've noticed on like Little Avenue, we have NL3, which is mid-density more, right? Where
Right.
we never had that there before either. It was just all single residential.
Right.
And there is a development going on Yonge Street that looks fairly big at the corner of Little and Yonge.
Right.
So there are like
Yeah.
little pockets that they're allowing to be more intensified,
Right. Yeah.
which is like the stacked townhouses.
Yep.
Um,
Condo buildings on Young.
yes. So I'm
Um,
going to try to find Yonge Street.
and we're seeing, it's safe to say too, in some older, mature areas where some smaller scale developers or have bought in some lots and have put in some multi-res properties.
Well, people are already buying them. So a lot of the developers I've talked to, and I've known about this for a couple years, they already know this. So if you look at over here, I know this map is hard to.
And just explain the street and neighborhood.
Okay, so this is the Lakeshore Essa area
Mhm.
off Ann. So this is Ann Street,
Okay.
Caroline, Center.
Yeah.
That's all going UT. And UT, if we go back to our little legend, urban transition.
Okay.
Okay. So now, if we hit, can I go back? If we go to the explainer document,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
tells you what all these things are.
Okay.
Okay. So NL1, generally found on lots with frontage onto local roads, detached, semi-detached, row house on street,
Okay.
and row house back to back.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
So now a neighborhood area low one would be like in just basic residential, they have to be single family dwellings.
Correct.
They don't
Okay.
have that anymore.
Okay. Makes
Everything can have a semi or a back-to-back row house on it.
And it's changing because of, let's face it, home affordability, right? You're seeing
Yes.
that's the biggest thing for these changes.
And you can have a coach house
Correct.
on, so everything can do that. The thing that people have to keep in mind, there are still requirements for the size of a lot to be able to do these things.
Correct. Correct.
So you can't have a 35 by 110 and shove a whole bunch of stuff on there like that. It doesn't work. You still have to meet the setbacks, the municipal requirements. So, right?
Hang on one second. I'm gonna keep talking. This light's flickering off.
Okay, so the neighborhood area low NL2 is generally found on lots with frontage onto collector roads, which means like a collector road is more of a main road, right?
Mhm.
And the thing is they allow the same things.
Right.
Detached, semi, row, back to back, row, rear access, coach house.
Yeah.
A neighborhood area low three is generally found on lots with frontage onto arterial roads. So they can be the row house cluster.
Okay.
They can't even have detached there anymore.
Okay.
Okay? You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you kind of see how it's going too with semi-detached row houses, back-to-back towns, low rise, mid-rise, on and on and on.
Yes, um it's very see like this one, neighborhood mid-rise, 5 to 12 stories,
Right. Yeah.
right? And they're designated as medium density.
Yeah.
So like there's a very clear thing here. So I wanted to see urban transition because that's where Caroline Center, remember?
Hmm.
Urban transition zone are found within the UGC, I don't know what that is, an MTSA, but adjacent to neighboring zones. Areas are planned to see significant growth, although not always at the same scale as areas in the urban core zone. These lands are designated as medium density.
Okay. Okay.
So they assume in the future, because Caroline and stuff is not that far from the water, right?
No, and all the main arteries are there. Essa off Essa. You see some bigger lots at times. You see some
Yes,
big things. Uh,
right.
you see some commercial over there now off of Essa. So it makes sense is that you're going to start seeing more intensification in,
Yes,
in local pockets of the community.
right. So this plan is is definitely um this whole plan is basically like the goal is intensification and I think around the waterfront area to do more commercial and I kind of want to show you it's going to get big now. But if you look down at the city core area, Mark,
Mhm.
see what I'm saying?
There's Dunlop, there's Simcoe. Um, yeah, it's all in here, right? All the brownish orange kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And there's some projects I think still planned along there on the lakeshore for some condo development.
Well, and they pushed it all up Cumberland, like
Yeah,
see all the way up here, up Essa.
yeah, yeah,
So like they're kind of surrounding the waterfront with that kind of this is all going to be development.
yeah,
Even on Sanford. But look at here, EP land right across from the marina. So it's identifying the environmentally protected land in Barrie as well.
yeah. That's right beside the Ellen Street Nautica condos,
Yes, it is.
right?
And
There's
right
some art,
behind too, off Ann Street, there's a bunch of EP as well.
right? Okay.
So for developers or anybody that is, is is buying, which you've even got to call yourself, okay? I remember the guy that called you that bought that one on the corner and then
Yeah,
he wanted to do these things. Like if you're looking at changing anything, even making a duplex or a triplex out of a of your own home or a property, you kind of need to go here and take a look at and see because you can go for a zoning change
you can. It's gonna cost you some money too.
and years.
Yeah.
So
These don't
Rob has
happen
been,
overnight. So the general public should keep that in mind. They take years to get final approval. It doesn't
mhm,
happen overnight. And there's lots of different governing parties involved, conservation, fish and wildlife at times, you have to do soil samples. You're going to have to do
tree
uh,
inventory.
inventory. Oh, there's some wildlife. We need to do a turtle study. And this gets all picked up by the person that's developing. So these fees can be very costly for the smaller development type of people.
Yes. So the one I bought with one of my clients on Edge Hill, he can now start building in October. He finally got the final approval.
Right.
You have to put a sign on the property. The neighbors can come and they can complain, and they can't even just come once. They get three opportunities, and
Okay.
it's months apart.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and we bought it 3 years ago in September.
Yeah.
Took
Wow.
3 years to get a lot that was single family, one home,
Mhm.
to be three townhouses. And they're going to be beautiful. Like
Yeah.
he's not doing shoddy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So even with these new zoning changes,
What
now
was
the
this?
one thing,
What was this fees and permits up to that? Do you know?
oh God, 80 grand or something.
Yeah, at least I said 100.
Well, he pays a planner too because you can't do these things yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
So one thing about these zoning changes that we talked about is even at the lowest level now,
Mhm.
you can do semi a row house or row house back to back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do that in the lowest where now just residential one is just a single detached dwelling.
Right.
They don't have that anymore. There's none that are just single detached dwellings. Nothing.
They want them. They want more housing available.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a huge change. So
Well,
I've had people that have actually bought knowing this. They bought like 2 years ago knowing this was changing.
mhm, mhm.
So, I mean, it's very easy. City of Barrie, the Barries, the official plan is there.
Yeah.
Like it's like 220 pages.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. So it's easier to go through and see these things.
Yep.
Now, the other thing you can do, which you're gonna like, you can go on developments,
Okay.
okay?
Let's do that.
and you can put in an address.
Put one in.
Okay.
Do you want to put in? Okay.
So right now, these are all the applications that are in.
Okay.
And all I did was put in development projects, search, development application, search. That's what I put in.
How many pages is it? Because there seems more than that, right?
Um, it says there's 15.
Okay. Can we see them all?
Yeah, I'm looking at right now. 500 Salem,
Okay.
950 through Maple Drive East to 1012 Young.
Okay.
So you can just go down.
Even looking at some of these, are you going fast? I'm seeing townhouses,
Yep.
right? 87.
Four-story residential building.
Right. Right. On Burton Avenue. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna see that. This is a good tool for people that want to know what's going on or looking at a particular area, right? That are going to want to know what's going on.
What was that address?
Uh,
205?
205 Jean Street. Let's see what's going on in Jean Street. Nice area. I took a drive by today and I saw some information. So I was curious. And I loved so my first again, I haven't been on Jean Street in a long time. I loved it. I really loved it. It felt like I wasn't even in Barrie.
Yes. So if you go under that, under the search and under development, you put in an address.
Okay.
Everything now comes up about that address. Ward 8 neighborhood meeting,
Hmm.
development project, type. You hit it.
Let's hit it. What's he want to do? So I drove by it and I'm going, huh?
205 Jean Street. It shows the subject land.
Go back up to okay.
They want a zoning bylaw amendment,
Hmm.
pre-application public consultation phase. That's where they're at right now.
Yeah,
So because the zoning isn't allowing it, you're going for a bylaw amendment. And in the new zoning, they can do the same thing. So
correct.
even though something is zoned one thing, they can still go and apply to have it changed.
Right. Right. Right.
And so what he's looking to do,
Mhm.
the proposed zoning bylaw amendment application seeks to rezone the subject land from residential single detached dwelling first density R1, which will no longer be, right?
Well, no, I know those are there hasn't
They're,
been
yeah, but this thing probably went in 2 years ago to residential single detached dwelling, fourth density with special provisions. The intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment is to permit the future development of 8 lots developed with single detached dwellings accessed via a private laneway. So that's what he's looking to do.
Can you go back? Okay, can you go back up to that map of the lands on Jane Street? Because when I drove by there, Dan, like there's lots and obviously that's the subject right there. There's a home on there. And there's still some, there's lots here. So some of this is back. So some of these neighbors are going to be back. That's what they're going to be viewing.
Well, so this is the
Even on
problem. This
Dock Road.
house, so say this
Uh,
is the only access in, right? Is this little strip here? Because this is someone else's house, that's somebody else's house. So they're going to have a laneway coming in here that goes down and then houses on both sides.
correct. Correct.
So all of these people all the way around who probably have trees right now are going to have houses in their back.
Oh, they got mature trees. I love the street. I could see people being upset with this proposed plan. I think it is going to compromise that parcel and that area in a sense, with it, depending on the type. And it's very narrow. There's not a lot of room. So this private road's going to have to go through, um, I guess, a developer's property, accessing it. So
Yes.
there's going to be a puddle that these 8 properties, and they're going to be small. They're going to probably be, there's going to be condos in a sense. It has to be because of the puddle,
Right.
the
So
common areas.
what a pottle is for people that don't understand. When you buy one that shows there's a maintenance fee for garbage and snow removal,
City's not
it's
going in there.
right. So it's considered a parcel of tied land. That's why it's called a pothole. And that is because the city is not going to do snow removal and garbage. So there has to be a little condo corp for those two maintenance items.
Yeah. And this is going to take some time to get done. And
Years.
years and very expensive as well. Because they are going to, and there's other governing bodies that will be that's really close to the water. What's the water table like? What's the soil like? What's the water? It goes on and on and on and on, right? Do I think it's going to impact the valuation of some homes there? Yeah, I do. I do, right? Depending on, it's just going to be, these people backing on, and they're going to be tall and narrow. They're not going to be single detached. Well,
They
yeah,
could be.
they could be, yes, but they're going to be confined in such a small area,
Yes.
right? So to me, that type of home doesn't make up what the rest of these homes are in this community, which is one of the best areas in the community, right in this Tollendale area.
Yeah. Cox Mill Road. Like it's nice.
It's great, very mature. So, you know, what I would suggest to people that are thinking of moving in an older, mature area to go to the website that Diane said and put in some information. Because, us as real estate agents, we don't know everything what's going on. We know there's lots of developments, we can find that out, but hey, it could get missed in a heartbeat, right? Especially if we see some areas that aren't, how many times we've driven right by communities down and we've seen, holy cow, there's a real big parcel of land just sitting vacant for the last 20 years. Well, we know something's going there. We know
Yeah. You know what? It's
that.
yeah, like the one across from Barry Burger is a prime example on Little and Young.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
been a huge thing. There's
Yeah.
another one going on Patterson right now
Yeah.
that's actually being built, but
Yeah.
there's been a huge vacant land there
Yeah.
forever. Like,
Right.
something's happening.
Yeah. We do. But you know what's sad though with on Jean Street because of the homes there, it's the property, the subject property, and then he's got a lot that goes, you know, call it rectangle in a way, and some of the woods are backing on, people looking out there and seeing this wooded area. Now they could be looking at let's just call it eight townhomes with a common element.
Well,
And
not only that, I
and
mean,
street lights and noise and are they going to be rentals? Are they going to be multi-res? Who knows?
you know what else that that people don't think a lot about is in my old house, I was in a bungalow, right?
Mhm.
And like my bedroom curtains were never opened because they could see right into my house and I could see right into theirs.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
When I first moved there and I was cooking dinner and stuff, they could see me. I planted trees and I put up lattice. I couldn't handle sitting in my kitchen cooking and someone could see right into my house.
Right. So the enjoyment of mature areas that has been always, quiet area now it's turning. And we don't know if he's going to get this done. We don't know,
No.
right? But it's a process, right? And it could take some time and there could be some concessions to be made. Like I think in that small parcel, when I did the drive by there and I went, you're going to get eight in that small parcel in a private road. I went, wow. Like that
Oh, they're
would,
going to be tight. Oh, so the other thing is my guy that does development and building, for it's they're down, I think for certain houses, they're down to 27-foot frontages.
yeah, that's unbelievable.
Used
Yeah.
to be 40, right?
It's getting less. And we've seen it. We've seen it in the last developments in the last five years here in communities where, especially, and again, they've all been affordable housing in a sense,
Yeah,
right?
so on Rose Street right now, I should probably bring up that one if I can get it.
Do it.
That one is going to be subsidized housing, but it's a huge apartment building,
Yeah.
like huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks great.
And let's see if I can just hit the back and put in Rose Street and see what happens.
All right.
Because, depending on where you're living, I mean, I don't know. It could affect you, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
Simcoe County of Simcoe Housing Corporation.
Where do you see that?
To permit a residential institutional development consisting of one building with two towers.
How high? 215 affordable housing rental units. Oh,
It's going to be a huge building.
yeah, it's going to be big. You're going to see it from the 400 pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to back onto Ottawa.
Yep.
All those people that live on Ottawa who are complaining about other things.
Again, these are old, mature areas, been around forever.
Yep.
It's going to impact, there's going to be some impact.
Yeah.
And I would be concerned with public housing, as any homeowner would be,
Yeah.
right? Because it has a bad reputation.
So their proposed is 38.5 meters high. How
Yeah.
high is that?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. I will convert it. Meters.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Let's see if this works.
Well, it's going to have 215 units in it, so holy crap, it's going to be big.
Um,
It's like 100 feet. That can't be right.
105.
And they're going to have two towers. See, they have the if you follow through to the thing, it even had. Oh, look at this, Mark.
That's crazy. Talk about intensification.
And it's a Simcoe County Housing Association. You think they're not going to get approved?
Oh, they're going to improve.
Oh, they're getting approved. You know that, right?
100%.
And you know another thing, Mark? That is right where the cutoff and the on-ramp is to the 400.
I know. I knew where it was right away when I saw it. I went, it's gonna be big. It's gonna take
Well, and what's the traffic going to be like there? Trying to
oh
get in and off the 400. It's already a gong show.
well, that's gonna be addressed. There's gonna have to be some new routes and things to be done because you can't handle the traffic. There's no way that they're gonna take that going off there now. It's busy as it is.
I know.
Where it's gonna be what about would it be rerouted to Ottawa? Coming through Ottawa and up? Can you do that or no?
I don't think so because like there's no access,
I know. I know.
right? It just goes over to Davidson.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. I don't know. It's going to be they're going to have to reconfigure that whole thing.
No, I know. And they'll have to do that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was a great video. I think that gave some viewers some more ideas to look because when we were looking at that list, we've seen a lot of these residential areas being revitalized in a sense with more intensification, right? Where, we've seen it. We've seen it it was one in Outer Bluffs. I remember walking Avery to school. We'd walk through a little path. Now it's all homes. It's like 20
Yeah.
homes cutting through. And it wasn't a big strip. And it was probably a puddle because it would be tight.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
Hit the like button, subscribe for more information. Simcoe County. See ya.
See ya.